G'day everyone, Prep Aussie here. I hope you're all well in whatever part of the world you're watching this video. Today is Thursday the 30th of May 2019 and the time here is 12:45 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Folks, I'm sorry about not posting yesterday, or posting. I've been driving the porcelain bus or pebble dash in it for the last 2 days, and I've literally just crawled out of bed now. So there's a bug going around and unfortunately I got it. So the only thing I was doing yesterday was, like I said, either using the toilet or lying on bed. That was it. Look, I wanted to talk to you guys, I said in the last video, about everything that's going on in Australia at the moment and indeed around the world. Now, if I'm just going to put a few connect the dots here. Donald Trump says that he's going to, or says he's declassified everything. The very same day Theresa May, or the day after, resigns. Now, you may think that's a total coincidence. It is not. If you watch what's going on and around the world, it's called nationalism. Now, I don't know whether nationalism is the right term for what's going on. I would probably like to say that things are just going back to normal. In a pre-JFK way, when we actually had control of the world, etc., etc. If we ever did. I think a lot of people are fed up. A lot of people like myself. So you have this, if you haven't noticed, there's this big division between, they're calling it left and right. Well, I don't know whether that's right, whether that's the right terminology, because you have people that are for all the new future and, technology and blah, blah, and you have the people that were quite happy with the way things were. I'm one of those people. I'm happy, I was happy with the way things were before we started getting, all this bullshit shoved down our throats daily by these clowns. And which has, and I'm speaking for a lot of you here, and I know because you tell me all the time. I'm speaking on behalf of our younger generations who have lost the plot. They don't know how to work because they're told they don't have to. They don't know how to think because they're told they don't have to. Because if they don't have to think because they just press a button and it's there. They don't have to cook because they've been told they don't have to. You can actually ring up menu log or, just all this bullshit that you see going on daily and daily and daily. So I'm on the path of, say things are, you have to earn your stripes. You have to actually do something to become something. You can't just become something because of the fact that you think you can be that. It doesn't work like that. And that's why there's so many of these kids, and this includes my kids, by the way. I have 2 on antidepressants and, 3. I have 3 of my children, all boys, on antidepressants. Why? Because they're depressed because they just don't know where they are in this world anymore. And I say to them, go and get a job. Any job. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Do something. Sweep floors like I did. Stand on nightclub doors like I did. Do anything to get money. Who cares? You don't retire till you're 70. Go and have some fun. So anyway, look, this it's a big drama. So anyway, getting back to the original thing. Around the world, there's this big movement to going back to normality. Now, Trump declassified everything. The day later, Theresa May resigns. On the same day, the head of the GCHQ in London, or the UK, resigned. Now, who was in charge of the GCHQ at the time of this Russian collusion hack, scandal, blah, blah, blah? Guess who? Theresa May. Now, cast your eye down to Australia, because this is interesting, and New Zealand, right? Because we're all tied into this Russian collusion thing, folks. It's going to explode. It's going to be fire trucking huge when this comes out. So, here we are in Australia. All the old parliamentarians, is that the right term? Turnbull. See, they had to get rid of Turnbull first because he is an absolute turd. And if you look at the ministry that he had, they've all gone. Why? Because it has been openly acknowledged in Parliament by the current people, the Liberal National Party, that they were just despicable people. They were backstabbing, undermining, just a horrible bunch of people to work with. So they had to do something to get rid of them, and they got rid of Turnbull. Now Turnbull's lackeys were, of course, the shitheads. Oh God, I can't remember. Payne. Sorry, her name. Forgive me at the moment, but they were just horrible people. Now, if you look at the new cabinet, before I say that, remember, if you go through the reason that this is the reason the Morrison election victory is so big, so huge in news for all of us, is that he literally single-handedly, like Trump, went against the system, i.e. the media, ABC, etc. Did you happen to catch any of the ABC documentary? I couldn't watch it. It was just shocking all the way up to the election. The Labor Party's going to blitz them. Everybody's going to win. The Labor Party's going to be sweep the floor. They're so biased that it's now acknowledged that they've shot themselves in the foot, and people are going to go. They're going to have to go. They're going to get shifted out the door, which is a good thing, by the way, because, Jesus, they're the biggest bunch of moronic tree huggers you could ever, tutu wearing tree huggers that you've ever seen in your life. Just despicable, really, that it's gotten to that stage. Now remember, they're the people that are influencing our kids. So, there is a definite link now between Australia, the UK, New Zealand, and the Russian collusion story. And it's all down to this very, very simple question. Now, don't forget, Malcolm Turnbull's been in America, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got dragged up in front of courts over there to actually testify on the sly. Wouldn't be surprised at all. It seems very odd to me that he lost the election. The first thing he did was got on a plane and went to America. He's been there for 6 months. Very odd. It's not even plausible. And then, when does he fly back to Australia? The day after the election victory. How weird is that? Excuse me. So look, you have all these things going on, Rudd and Gillard, etc. They're shitting themselves, folks, and I can guarantee you that. They are shitting themselves. Now, chuck Julian Assange into the mix, who has all of the information. He may be the only person who has all the information, apart from the NSA, but they need to corroborate it with someone external. Who is that? Julian Assange. So, man, this is going to be one hell of a shit fight when it really does come down the tank. There's going to be a backlog that's going to go boom. So, the big question is, right? And I'm surprised a lot of people haven't been asking this very question. Who and why, so I suppose 2 questions, sent, now remember, Alexander Downer was, at the time, the Australian Consul General in England. So he was the top bloke, Australian representative in England. Now, who and why was he sent to have a meal or whatever the drinks with George Papadopoulos? How did that get organised? Because even George Papadopoulos says that I just got asked to meet him. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Never understanding why, who and why he was there. Why did he get sent there? Who sent him to meet George Papadopoulos? Now, going back, this is so weird. The Attorney General who runs the security agencies in Australia was, guess who? George Brandis. Guess what George Brandis is now doing? He's the Australian High Commissioner in London for the Australian government. He took over from Downer. You don't think there's a bit of arse covering going on there, right? Now, you're going to see people start leaving either Australia to go and live in some crapped up country that has no extradition to the US, or you're physically going to see these people dragged to the US to testify. That's how bad this is going to get. Now remember, we're supposed to be allies to the Americans, staunch allies. So, which makes this even worse, because Trump's already come out at that press conference when he was on the lawn of the White House, where he said, I want him to look into Australia and I want him to look into the UK. Man, I reckon there was people everywhere whose sphincters just went like that. Holy shit. I can't believe he just said that. So, buckle up. This is going to get bad. It's going to get real bad. You're going to see people be doing some amazingly crazy things on media, etc., to try and dissipate their either knowledge of this or acknowledgement of this. So it's going to be bad, folks. There's no 2 ways about it. Now, I just want to move on a bit to some preparation stuff. Now, if, and you know, you're obviously not, this is the first time you've watched my show, you're obviously not living under a rock. And you've obviously got ears pricked up and you're listening to something, or you've taken notice of something. This is not the time to be running around just thinking, yeah, everything's going to be cool and casual and blah, blah, blah. Now's the time to start planting those veggie gardens, etc. If you haven't been watching the stock market, there is now nothing holding it up. Right? Don't kid yourself that Trump's got control of the stock market. He does not. It's still run by the elites. Right? They have all the gold, they have all the silver. They're virtually running the entire show. At a moment's notice, they can go like that and turn the switch. It's up to them. It's not up to Trump. It's not up to us. And you need to understand that. This is really, really important. You need to understand that these people would rather have a nuclear war, decimate millions, so that they can survive, so they don't have to face the courts. You're talking about just pure evil here, folks. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about anybody. They don't care about our future generations. This is all about money. This is all about power. And this is all about them. So, if you haven't got your head screwed on right and you're not checking your inventories, you're not buying some gold or you're not buying some silver, then please take even 20 minutes out of your day and go and buy some. More importantly, go and buy a shitload of vegetables for your garden. I mean, seeds, etc. You can grow veggies anywhere, folks. Honestly. You need a bucket of sand and some seeds and you can start growing. And it may be the best decision you've made. But here's the thing, when you buy some, make sure you buy plenty for future years or for bugging out if you need to take them with you. Okay? Now, the other big thing in all this is China. Guys, Trump is literally decimating China by the day. Now, it's kind of like the old Russian proverb about poking the bear, except it's a big panda. Look cuddly, but eventually it's going to erupt and it's going to try and cut people to shreds. China is going to go the way of war. There's no other way that they can go. Their companies are being blacklisted. They're literally shutting down. Now remember, the thing about communism is that they're there to protect you and to feed you and do everything. So, you know, when people start starving, remember China has no natural resources really. No food. They don't even have enough water to keep their country going. And they've got a $45 trillion debt, which they built up over 10 years. So eventually it's going to be like a big stick. It's going to go snap. Now, they're obviously going to go, it was their fault. It's their fault. They're doing that now. Now, you know, they've already openly said, you can find this out, you can chase this down, the information on Google and it. They've already openly said that Australia has too many natural resources for one country. The hell's that mean? It's not your country, it's ours. So they are the bogeyman in the room, folks. Russia will not side with China. They never have and they never will. They really technically don't like each other. They might be doing some financial stuff at the moment, but it's really a moot point because, you know, China's broke. China's dead flat broke. They're even more broke than the Yanks. And that's saying something. Now, here's what's going to happen over the short term. China's going to start saying to people, okay, well, Trump's going to put tariffs on us. We're not going to buy your iron ore. If Trump's going to do this, we're not going to buy your goods. So then you've got a real shit fight on your hands where automatically it turns around, whereas Trump's a bad guy. Australia's looking at America going, well, you've got to stop this, mate. You know, Australia's going to grind to a halt, which it will. It literally will. So it's going to get sticky in the next couple of weeks, folks. And it's my prediction before the end of June, we are going to have a correction in the stock market. And as I said, that's not financial advice, that I'm a financial hack. Now, and I said to you the other day, remember, the Australian government and the Reserve Bank of Australia has told you at least over the last 4 to 6 months that they are going to drop interest rates here in Australia. So, what does that mean? Right, they're going to drop the interest rate to 1%, say. Okay, so what does that mean for you? In the short term, the banks are going to go, okay, well, we'll drop ours 25%, 0.25%, sorry, not 25%. People are going to go, whoa! Now, if you're like me, I signed up last year for you've got to be happy, I'll say this first, you've got to be happy with your current rate because you can get penalised for pulling out of your current mortgage, signing at a cheaper rate. So think long and hard, think long term, right? So what I'm going to say to you now, I'm happy with my rate. I think I've got it for nearly 4%. Now, would I pull out and get penalised to go to a higher rate, to a lower rate? knowing what's coming. Because what's coming is this. The Australian interest rate is going to go down. The Australian dollar on the same day, if not pretty soon after, is the arse is going to drop out of it. Literally. It's going to go down to about 60 cents. 65, 60 cents. Which is, it went down to 55 in 2008, if I remember. And gold was at $800 an ounce. Something silly like that, 600. So, the arse is going to drop out of the Australian dollar. Then what's going to happen is Westpac, etc., are going to turn around and they're going to start whacking up their interest rates, because to get their money from overseas is going to cost them more. They're going to pass that on to you, the interest rates, via interest rates. And they are going to take off pretty quick. You've been warned about this by all the main experts, David Morgan, and all the people on USA Watchdog have warned you about this many, many times. That's what's going to happen. Conversely, here in Australia, we are going to go into a massive deflation, stagflation scenario, which we were kind of already at anyway. So there is very, very heavy times coming up, folks. And as I said, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just what I'm a financial hack. But that is what is going to happen. So, be warned. Do the right thing. Think long term. Okay? The interest rates are going to go up. They're not going to go down. Mate, as soon as you hear anyone say helicopter money, head for the hills. Because it's all over. And they're talking about that in America right now. And they're already talking about that. You can find it on the ABC website. Type in helicopter money on their search engine and you will find the article that tells you that the Royal Bank of Australia is already talking about that. All right. I'll leave it there for today and we'll come back tomorrow. Alrighty, folks. Here's the verse of the day. But from everlasting to everlasting, the Lord's love is with those who fear him, and his righteousness with their children's children, with those who keep his covenant and remember to obey his precepts. And as always, folks, the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, for ever and ever. Amen. All right, folks, I'll leave it there. I've rabbited on long enough. But look, my main point of this video today is that there is just so much going on. You know, you need a Rhodes Scholar in journalism and bloody investigation to keep up with everything now. It's just so hard. But there's a lot riding on your decisions coming directly. Okay, so keep that in mind. And obviously the point of my videos is to just hopefully even warn just one of you that you make the right choices and you prepare properly, because that's what this is about. Prepare Australia. Prep Aussie. Anyway, folks, God bless. Prep out.